Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins History, where every coin tells a story, and every story could lead to an unexpected fortune. Today, we're diving into a seemingly ordinary coin that many people overlook, toss in a jar, or pass off without a second glance: the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1966. Now, don't be fooled by its modest appearance. This little copper coin could be hiding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. What if I told you that one of these pennies could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars? That's right. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll discover just how much this humble penny could be worth, and what rare features make it a collector's dream. Let's start with a little bit of backstory. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history since 1909, when it was first minted to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, the design has changed slightly, but the 1966 penny remains part of what collectors call the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. What makes the 1966 penny stand out? Well, 1966 was a transitional year for the U.S. Mint. In the mid-1960s, the Mint was dealing with a national coin shortage, and because of this, something very important happened. No mint marks were used on coins in 1965, 1966, or 1967. That's right, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco coins all looked the same during those years. This policy was meant to discourage coin hoarding by collectors. But ironically, it ended up making coins like the 1966 penny even more intriguing to collectors today. Now, here's where things get exciting. While millions of these pennies were made, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. And fewer still have what really gets collectors buzzing: minting errors. So what kinds of errors should you look out for? Some 1966 Lincoln pennies have been found with double die errors, where the design elements, especially the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. These are striking errors that jump out when viewed under magnification and can increase a penny's value dramatically. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned during minting, resulting in part of the design being pushed off the coin's surface. A significant off-center error, especially if the date is still visible, can turn a regular penny into a highly desirable collector's item. And then there are planchet errors, like coins that were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal or didn't receive the correct amount of pressure during minting. Some 1966 pennies have been discovered with missing layers, odd discolorations, or unusual weight due to these errors. These are the kinds of unique mistakes that turn everyday coins into rare finds. But rarity isn't just about errors. Condition plays a massive role. A 1966 penny that has been passed from hand to hand for decades won't catch a collector's eye, but a penny that has been preserved in uncirculated or mint state condition is a totally different story. Coins graded at MS 65 or higher by professional grading services are the ones that get attention, and serious money. Collectors go wild for coins that check all the boxes: historical significance, unique features, and top-tier condition. And the 1966 Lincoln penny? It has all of those, if you're lucky enough to find the right one. Now, I know you've been waiting for the big moment. Just how much can one of these pennies be worth? Well, hold on to your coin flips, because one rare 1966 Lincoln penny, in extraordinary mint condition and featuring a dramatic minting error, has been valued at an astonishing $65,000. Yes, you heard that right. $65,000 for a single 1-cent coin. So next time you're digging through your change, or flipping through an old coin collection passed down from a family member, keep your eyes peeled. That little copper penny might not just be history in your hand, it might also be a small fortune. Today's episode is going to change the way you look at pocket change forever, because hidden among the coins most people barely notice could be something extraordinary. We're talking about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1978. That's right, this little copper coin, often tossed aside or forgotten in jars and drawers, could be worth a small fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 1978 penny? That's not even that old. And you're right, at first glance, this coin seems pretty ordinary. It's not ancient. It's not made of gold or silver. It's just a penny, right? But here's where the magic of coin collecting comes in. Sometimes, the most valuable treasures are the ones hiding in plain sight. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1978 Lincoln penny so special. This coin features the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has remained on the US 1-cent piece since 1909. By 1978, the reverse side still showed the Lincoln Memorial, making it part of the beloved Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 all the way to 2008. In terms of production, the U.S. Mint struck these pennies in massive numbers. Billions were made between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. So why is it even worth paying attention to? Because not all pennies are created equal. You see, among those billions, there are rare gems, coins with minting errors, production flaws, and stunning conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. And the 1978 Lincoln penny is no exception. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with a slight shift in the die. On a 1978 penny, this might show up as doubling in the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," or even in the date itself. Under magnification, these letters and numbers will appear to have a shadow or second image, something that's invisible to the average person but a beacon to serious collectors. There are also off-center strike errors, where the design is misaligned during the minting process. The more off-center the strike, and the more visible the date, the more valuable the coin becomes. An off-center error with at least 50% of the design missing but a clear 1978 date? That's a jackpot in the coin world. Some rare 1978 pennies have also been found with bizarre planchet errors, like being struck on the wrong metal. A few were mistakenly struck on dimes or foreign planchets, resulting in incorrect sizes, colors, or weights. These error coins are like the rare misprints of the coin universe, and collectors will pay top dollar to own one. But rarity alone isn't enough to send a penny's value through the roof. The condition matters just as much, if not more. Coins that have been well preserved, kept out of circulation, and protected from scratches, dirt, or discoloration are incredibly valuable. Professional grading services assign these coins a grade on a scale from 1 to 70. A 1978 penny that scores MS 65 or higher, mint state with minimal flaws, is what truly sets a coin apart, and when you combine that top-tier condition with a major mint error, that's when the value skyrockets. Now imagine this: you're at a flea market, or maybe sorting through an old jar of coins you inherited from your grandparents. You find a shiny 1978 penny. It looks different, maybe a little off-center, maybe the lettering looks doubled. It seems like nothing, but it might be something, because believe it or not, one of these rare 1978 Lincoln pennies, featuring a dramatic mint error and preserved in absolutely pristine condition, has been valued at a jaw-dropping $60,000. Yes, you heard that right. $60,000 for a coin most people would walk past without a second glance. So the next time you hear a penny drop, don't ignore it. Check your change. Look through your coin jars. That tiny piece of copper might just be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Today, we're diving into a coin that millions of people have seen, spent, or saved without realizing its true potential. I'm talking about the 1981 United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny. Now, at first glance, this might just look like another ordinary copper penny. You've probably handled dozens of them without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these seemingly ordinary coins could be hiding a shocking secret? That inside this little piece of copper could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Yes, today's coin might be worth far more than 1 cent. In fact, one extremely rare version of this 1981 Lincoln penny has stunned collectors and appraisers alike. But before we reveal how much it could be worth, let's take a journey through its background, its hidden features, and the rare minting mistakes that turn it into a collector's dream. Let's start with the basics. The 1981 Lincoln penny features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, just like it has since 1909. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 all the way to 2008. But here's what makes the 1981 edition unique: this was one of the final years that the penny was made primarily from 95% copper before the U.S. Mint switched to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition starting in 1982. That makes the 1981 penny one of the last true copper coins, and copper, as you probably know, has value all its own. But for collectors, that's just the beginning. What truly makes certain 1981 pennies rare and extremely valuable are minting errors, those fascinating little mistakes made during the production process that turn a common coin into a collector's treasure. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die obverse, or DDO. On some 1981 pennies, you'll see a clear doubling of the letters "In Liberty, In God We Trust," or the date. These doubled letters are not damage, they are the result of a misalignment during the minting process. And to collectors, that's like striking gold. Another incredibly desirable error is the off-center strike. If the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during minting, you might see the design pushed too far to one side, leaving a blank crescent on the coin. The more off-center it is, while still showing the full date, the more valuable it becomes. And then there's the die crack or die break error. This happens when a crack forms in the die that stamps the coins, leaving a raised line or bump on the coin. Some collectors refer to dramatic die breaks as cuds, or even bizarre scars, on the coin surface, and the more unusual, the more collectible. But here's something many people don't know: 1981 was a year of transition in the mint itself. That year, the U.S. Mint used two different types of lettering on the proof coins, Type 1 and Type 2. While these differences were officially on proof strikes, a few rare examples of business strike pennies have surfaced showing unusual or transitional features. These unexpected details have caught the eye of experienced collectors who know how to spot something truly rare. Now let's talk about the final factor that decides a penny's value: condition. Most 1981 pennies have been in circulation for decades. They've been scratched, nicked, dropped, and exposed to the elements. But if you come across a coin that's in uncirculated condition, or even better, mint state, you're holding something special. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC evaluate these coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A high-grade 1981 penny, with a clear error and top-level condition, is a true gem. These are the coins that don't just belong in albums, they belong in showcases, auctions, and serious collections. So the question is, what happens when you combine rarity, a stunning mint error, and flawless condition? You get a coin that collectors will fight over. You get a coin that turns heads. You get a coin that could sell for as much as $57,000. That's right, $57,000 for a single 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1981. It's real. It's happened. And it could happen to you if you find the right coin. So, before you toss another penny in the tip jar or walk past a coin on the sidewalk, take a second look. Examine those 1981 pennies closely. You never know, you might just be holding onto a piece of history, and a fortune. Today, we're about to uncover the mystery behind one of the most fascinating and overlooked coins in American pocket change, the 1967 United States of America Lincoln penny. Now, most people would look at this copper coin and think nothing of it. After all, millions, actually billions, of these pennies were struck that year. So how could one of them possibly be valuable? That's exactly what makes this story so amazing, because what looks like a common coin at first glance might just be a rare piece of minting history worth far, far more than face value. And if you know what to look for, you might just discover that you've had a hidden treasure sitting in your coin jar this entire time. Let's start with the basics. The 1967 Lincoln penny features the legendary profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the words, "In God We Trust," arched above, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1967, to the right. On the back, you'll see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 to 2008. Now here's something many people don't know. 1967 was a very unusual year for U.S. coins. The country was still recovering from a national coin shortage in the early 1960s, and the U.S. Mint had made a major decision. From 1965 to 1967, no coins would have mint marks, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, not even a P for Philadelphia. That means every 1967 penny looks almost identical, regardless of where it was made. The goal was to reduce coin hoarding. But what the mint didn't realize is that this decision would make coins from these years incredibly interesting to collectors decades later, especially the ones that slipped through the cracks with rare and shocking errors, and this is where the 1967 penny gets exciting. Among those billions of coins minted that year are a small handful that contain minting mistakes so rare, so unusual, that they've become prized pieces in the coin collecting world. Some 1967 pennies show signs of double die errors. This happens when the coin design is struck twice, slightly off alignment, causing the letters or numbers to appear doubled. These aren't scratches or damage, they're factory flaws made during production, and collectors go crazy for them. If you spot a 1967 penny where the date or the word Liberty looks shadowed or has extra thickness, you might be holding a double die variety. Then there are the off-center strikes. These errors occur when the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press. The result? A coin with part of the design missing and a crescent of blank metal on one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, and the more readable the date, the higher the value. Another one to look for is the clipped planchet error, where part of the coin is actually missing due to a blank being improperly cut before minting. These errors look like the coin had a small bite taken out of it and are instantly recognizable, and perhaps most rare of all are the strikes on the wrong planchet. A 1967 penny accidentally struck on a dime blank or even a foreign coin blank. These bizarre mistakes are incredibly scarce and highly valuable when authenticated, but let's not forget about condition. Most 1967 pennies have spent years, decades even, in circulation. They've been scratched, rubbed, pocketed, and dropped. But if you find a 1967 penny in mint state condition, untouched by time and preserved with that bright copper shine, you're looking at something truly special. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and anything above MS 65 is considered high grade. Add an error to that level of preservation, and you're now looking at a coin that could fetch serious attention from collectors, dealers, and auction houses. And now for the moment you've been waiting for. Among the rarest of the rare, a 1967 Lincoln penny with a dramatic mint error, preserved in immaculate mint state condition, has been valued at a staggering $67,000. That's right, $67,000 for a single 1-cent coin. So the next time you're sorting through spare change, or flipping through a collection that's been sitting in a drawer for years, don't overlook the 1967 penny. That tiny copper disc could be worth more than you ever imagined. All it takes is the right error, the right condition, and a little luck. Today we're traveling back in time to uncover the secrets of a coin that millions of people have seen, held, or spent, but only a few know holds a potential fortune. We're talking about the 1961 Lincoln penny, a coin that seems completely ordinary, until you take a closer look. At first glance, it's just 1 cent. Just another copper-colored coin with Abraham Lincoln's face staring off into history. But behind this simple appearance is a world of rarity, minting mysteries, and collector obsession. So, if you love the thrill of the hunt, and the idea that a forgotten penny might be worth thousands, then stick around, because you won't believe just how much a rare version of this 1961 penny is worth. Let's begin with the basics. The 1961 Lincoln penny was struck during a fascinating time in American history. The country was at the dawn of a new decade, and the U.S. Mint was pumping out coins in high volume to meet the growing needs of a booming post-war economy. That year, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced pennies, with Philadelphia coins having no mint mark, and Denver pennies carrying the small d under the date. Now, here's where things get interesting. While hundreds of millions of 1961 pennies were minted, not all of them were created equal. Among those countless coins are a few that contain extremely rare and valuable errors that turn a common cent into a collector's dream. One of the most famous and sought-after varieties is the 1961 double die penny. Imagine this, a coin that was struck twice, slightly off from the first strike. This causes letters and numbers, like Liberty, In God We Trust, and even the date, 1961, to appear doubled. These doubled features aren't damage or wear, they're minting mistakes caused during production. And collectors go wild for them. There's also the repunched mint mark, or RPM. Some 1961 D pennies show signs that the D mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. Under a magnifying glass or loupe, you can spot the doubling of the D, and if it's clear and dramatic, you've got a real prize on your hands. Another highly collectible error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is misaligned due to the planchet not being properly positioned in the press. If part of the coin is blank but the date is still visible, that error could skyrocket the value. Then there's the clipped planchet error, where a part of the coin is actually missing from the edge. These rare minting mistakes are not only fascinating, they're highly valuable to collectors who specialize in error coins. Let's not forget another essential piece of the puzzle: condition. A 1961 penny that has spent decades in circulation probably has scratches, discoloration, and wear. But every now and then, one turns up in stunning, mint state condition, no blemishes, full original luster, and sharp detail. These are the coins graded at MS 65 or higher, and they are the crown jewels of Lincoln penny collections. And when one of those high-grade coins also has a major mint error, that's when things get really exciting. Collectors are always chasing that rare combination: an old coin, an unmistakable mint error, and a nearly perfect condition. It's a trio that transforms something as small as a penny into a piece of history, and a source of serious profit. So, what happens when you find a 1961 Lincoln penny with a bold double die or repunched mint mark, preserved in uncirculated, pristine condition? Well, here's the moment you've been waiting for. One of these rare 1961 Lincoln pennies, featuring a dramatic mint error and flawless condition, has been valued at an astonishing $77,000. Yes, you heard that right. $77,000 for a coin that most people wouldn't bend down to pick up off the street. So, what should you do now? Start checking your change. Go through those old jars. Revisit that inherited coin collection from your grandparents. Because buried in those forgotten places, there just might be a small, copper treasure waiting to be discovered. If you love this story and want to learn more about the rare coins hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss the next big discovery. There are still countless coins out there with secrets to tell, and we're here to uncover them all. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.